My check 1 2, it's the Y2K collector, and you've just ordered a copy of The Incredible Hulk on the PlayStation 3 from GameStop. And the last thing that you want to see when you finally get the package in the mail is either this yellow envelope with just the disc only, or you definitely don't want to see one of these generic black cases that don't really have anything in it other than the disc and has zero cover art. Now, sometimes you might get halfway lucky, and if you don't get those two pieces, then you might get something like this, where GameStop will still send you this generic black case, but at the very least, they'll still give you some type of genuine cover art. You can at least get this artwork, and if you do happen to have a spare PlayStation 3 case, one of the clear ones that look like this, you could probably do some type of cover art swap and at least have a semi-decent case for the disc. Now, what GameStop has been doing recently, which honestly I think is a good thing, is they've actually been doing this, where they actually send you the full and complete game. Not only do you get the cover art, but you also get a standard PlayStation 3 case, and then inside it, you also get the manual and the disc. And this is the optimal format that I think a lot of collectors would want to see their games come in. Now, on April 1st, GameStop thought it would be pretty funny to do some type of an April Fool's joke where they said that all games that don't have any type of genuine cover art, that they would have a guy, I guess, that works at the store that would be basically drawing some pieces of cover art on, or he would do like these custom cover art labels where he drew, hand drew the cover art. And I thought, that's kind of funny, right? But that definitely would have been two steps back for sure. I think that the value proposition that GameStop offers as a retro video game store, or and I consider them a retro video game store because they do have that retro video game component. Yes, they do sell modern games. Yes, they do sell Switch stuff and PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 stuff. But for a lot of people who don't have access to mom and pop shops, GameStop is the stop for them. And so they actually have a really big opportunity when it comes to retro. And it's hard to gauge whether or not their launch, their retro launch has been successful or not. It's been kind of difficult. I think for the avid retro video game hunters, those who go out and they're hunting every week, in some cases every day, and they're attacking their Game Stops all the time, I think that those gamers, those hunters are able to find some real gems. Obviously, YouTube isn't a full depiction of everything that's going on in the world, but even if we just used YouTube as a case study, I would say that there are people out there that find some really rare stuff. Everything from really rare NES games to rare Super Nintendo games, Sega Saturn games, and then even some of the more recent stuff like the PlayStation 2 stuff, GameCube stuff, Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 stuff. There's definitely things that GameStop has available, but I think that they still need to tweak their system a little bit to make it better for everyone, not just the people who are, for lack of a better term, bloodhounds when it comes to searching retro video games. I think I'm somewhere in between. I think I hunt just enough to find a good amount of sweet deals out there at GameStop, but I don't think I hunt enough to truly maximize GameStop the way I've seen other people do it. But one of the biggest deterrents that I think for a lot of people is the worry that you might get one of these games either in this format or in this format, especially if you're a collector. Now, if you're a person who's just looking to play the game, that may make a little bit of a difference in terms of the condition that you get these games. And I say that because one of the last times that I was actually at a GameStop picking up some retro games, there was a young lady in there who was looking for a copy of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube. And it just so happened that GameStop actually did have a copy. And it looked like she had traveled, based on the conversation, she had traveled from quite a distance to that GameStop to pick up that copy. And I think she called ahead of time just to make sure that it was still in store. Now, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube definitely went up. I remember that being like a $60 game or so for a really long time. And then of course the Sonic movie came out, and then it price shot up all the way up on a lot of Sonic games. Um, but it seemed that Sonic 2 for sure shot up more than like Sonic Adventure or Sonic DX or even Shadow the Hedgehog, probably because of the introduction of Knuckles into the movie storyline. And I haven't followed the movie much, so I'm not super well versed on it. I do just know that around the time that movie came out, the Sonic Adventure 2 games definitely shot up. But the point of the matter is that she drove from quite a distance to pick up a loose disc version of the game. So there is a market for those GameStop games that don't have a case, don't have a manual, don't have a lot of the stuff that I think a lot of the collectors look for. And there are people that are willing to pay those prices, especially when they know that they have a guaranteed 7-day return policy. They can take the game back if anything breaks. That's something that you don't get with Facebook Marketplace. You don't get that really with Mercari that much anymore. In some cases, you do get it with Mercari, you do get it with eBay, but it's a lot more hassle free. I will say my experiences with GameStop and returns has been a lot better than it was in the past. And it also seems like they're taking a little bit of time to do a little bit of retro training. I've gone to at least 3 different GameStop stores where they actually have the screwdriver that allows you to open up NES, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis cartridges, along with Game Boy cartridges. So I have seen them trying to step their game up and teaching employees how to check games and things like that and make sure that games are authentic. But on the flip side of that, I still see GameStop selling fake Pokemon games, knowing that the games are fake. I mean, I will take the Pokemon game to the employee and say, this is a fake Pokemon game. This is a fake copy of Final Fight 3. And they will say, yeah, well, our manager still told us to sell it, put it out on the floor, because either way, we're going to take a loss on it. And I think that's very unscrupulous of GameStop to sell fake games. If you know that the game is fake, why sell it? Why do that to a customer who's really excited? They think they're getting a genuine copy of Pokemon Platinum, but because you're worried about your numbers, you have to then, defraud them. I think that's a little bit shady, but with all that being said, like I said in the beginning of the video, I can't really tell how much of a success the retro initiative has been. On some levels, I definitely see where some people have benefited from it. I do see where some people are taking advantage of it, but I do see that there are still gaping holes in the retro process. I do still see where GameStop has opportunity to do better training with their employees and do better quality control. But I guess only time will tell, how much longer they're going to continue this run. I don't know if they've cleared out their warehouse yet or if what they're selling and posting on their website is based off of trade-ins. But let me know what you're seeing near you, and let me know your opinion in the comments down below. Where do you think the GameStop Retro initiative is at this point? Is it a success? Is it a failure? Do you think it's a stalemate? I'm interested to know your thoughts, and I'll catch you in the next video. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.